What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the Report. Welcome back to a brand new video. And yes, it is playoff time. Game 2 is on the way tomorrow. And we're here to do a Game 2 preview between the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks, man. Make sure y'all stick around till the end of the video. Leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Heat fans, Bucks fans, NBA fans, it does not matter. We talk all things Miami Heat basketball here, especially the playoffs. So, yeah, if you guys are interested in my second channel, go check that out. My Twitter, which we do spaces after almost every game. Yeah, man, let's get right into it. The Heat and the Bucks tip it off tomorrow, game 2, at 8 p.m. or actually 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. It's going to be a great game. I can already imagine how good of a game it's going to be in general, not just for any team, but it's going to be a really good game in general. And I did want to do a recap after game 1. I just decided to hold it off and just do a preview plus like a short recap of last game in one video. And get that out to you guys today so you guys have like a whole day to listen to it. Yeah, man, I mean, it's going to be an extremely interesting game. I'm super excited. We got to go over a couple of things first because I have seen a lot of, you know, with the playoffs, there's a lot of rivalry on Twitter and social media and stuff. A lot of fans going at it. I'm not a voice for anybody. I'm just a fan myself. But if I were to give my opinion right now, I would say we got to chill as Heat fans and Bucks fans. First of all, nobody wants to see anybody go down injured. Let me get that straight. I don't want to see Giannis go down injured. Definitely don't want to see Tyler miss basically the whole playoffs with a broken hand. And yeah, injuries suck. They really do. If I'm beating the Bucks, I want to beat them at full strength. I'm sure the Bucks fans feel the same way about us. If they were to beat us, like it's very frustrating that two of the best players in the series had to get taken out due to injury. Now, obviously, Giannis is an MVP and Tyler is not even an all-star yet, but Tyler's still very talented. I don't know what Reggie Miller was doing comparing the two injuries. Honestly, like, it doesn't really matter to me. Giannis is probably going to be back in game 2. Tyler, unfortunately, doesn't have that luck. He's going to probably miss the entirety of the playoffs unless the Heat miraculously make it to the finals, which I don't think is going to happen. But hey, you never know. So obviously, you know, injuries suck. I just do want to put that out there. I do not want to see anybody go down. So we gotta chill as fan bases instead of attacking different players. I wish Giannis a speedy recovery. I want to beat him with him in the series. I do not want the Bucks, you know, to be shorthanded and then we beat them and now it's an excuse that Giannis was out. I want to beat them at full strength. I'm sure the Bucks fans would have loved to beat us at full strength too, because if they beat us, and a lot of Heat fans will be like, "Oh, Tyler didn't play." So, yeah, it sucks. It's give or take. You know, you don't really know what to expect in playoff series, and a lot of injuries going on right now. Even Ja Morant, you know, his situation going on right now. There are injuries going on, and it's just part of the game. But we got to live with that. And then a lot of people are talking about banning the charge. Listen, y'all, I don't understand the logic behind this. Why are we banning the charge? I don't understand. Does the offensive player only have freedom now to just drive whenever they want to and people can't stand in his way? Like, I just don't get it. Now, a lot of people are saying all these injuries, the Ja injury, the Giannis injury, I'm sure there was another injury that happened where someone, you know, drove at a player and they got injured. All these players, you know, all these injuries happen when the defensive player was trying to take a charge. Which is true, but if you see somebody in the lane setting his body, it's still on the offensive player whether he wants to attack him or not. So don't blame the defensive player for getting into a legal guarding position and taking a charge. I don't understand banning the charge. I think that's absolutely stupid. The charge has existed for a long time now. Just because players have gone down because of it does not mean we should be taking it out or removing it from the rules, because then it just gives the offensive player so much more freedom to do whatever they want to do, and it just gives them a lot more leeway. Because like I said, even if someone is, you know, if someone establishes legal guarding position in the paint or and outside the restricted area, like, a player still has to make the decision as to whether they want to attack them or not. We've seen Ja trying to dunk on players, dunk over players trying to take a charge. So that's on Ja. If he gets hurt, obviously it's an unlucky injury for Giannis, but don't blame the defensive player because it's not their fault. So a lot of Bucks fans going at Kevin Love, calling him dirty, this, that. Y'all should be checking Bobby Portis first of all, because Bobby Portis, I don't know if y'all saw, Bobby Portis got into it with Spo. He pushed Spo around twice. Whenever there was one time where Spo was trying to call a timeout and he went on the floor, Bobby Portis ran into Spo and pushed him. Obviously, the Heat bench didn't like that. So before any Bucks fan starts calling Kevin Love dirty, not only did Bobby Portis push Spo twice, he also cheap shotted Kevin Love, which was not even looked at as a flagrant, in the second half. So yeah, like Bobby Portis, those are like dirty plays that can be called into question. What Kevin Love did was not dirty. He was taking a charge, and unfortunately, Giannis got injured because of it. But that's not Kevin Love's fault. So don't blame Kevin Love and don't start, throwing threats and all this stuff at Kevin Love online. Like, he doesn't deserve that. I'm not saying Bobby Portis deserves all these threats too. I'm just saying Bobby Portis, man, like, you got to stop all this drama. I know you're a very extra player in that way. Like, he kind of gets to cry into it a lot of the times. Like, he's really good. He had a really good game, but it was very frustrating watching him push around our head coach and cheap shot Kevin Love in the back, for one of those plays. Like, that's just a dirty play. Like, whether you like it or not, he was intentionally, trying to hurt somebody, or push them around, or cheap shot somebody. Kevin Love was not trying to injure Giannis. So there's a difference between the two. That's all I wanted to say. I think I spent enough time on that. But previewing game 2, I'm so sorry, guys. I spent too much time on that. But previewing game 2, no Tyler Hero. So obviously this leaves a void in the starting lineup. I don't know who he's going to start. He probably knows. Spo probably knows who he's going to start. He just probably hasn't, like, obviously to the media today he said he doesn't, but that's probably just like something to just cover up that, he's just not trying to give the game plan away, which I understand. It could be one of 3 players to me. It could either be Duncan Robinson, it could be Caleb Martin, or it could be Victor Oladipo. I do not see anybody else taking that starting spot because, and there's pros and cons to each. Obviously, Duncan started the second half, so a lot of people think it's going to be him. The pros are you have extra spacing. You have guys who can move very well without the ball. That's probably like, out of the 3 options that I named, Duncan is the best by far at moving without the ball. And it allows Jimmy and Bam to operate with a lot of spacing. With Duncan and Max on the floor, it's a lot of spacing, and the Bucks can't really help off of either of them, or Gabe. So that lineup would probably be the best shooting-wise. But defensively, it's tough because Duncan is a lot worse at defense than Tyler, and Tyler's not the best defender either. That's how bad Duncan's defense is. So Duncan is just a foul magnet. He gets in foul trouble a lot. He can't really defend his man. Just gets bullied a lot. Foot position is not that great. Like, he's just not a good defender. And compared to Depot and Caleb, if you want to go for defense as far as sizing up with the Bucks, I like the game plan in game 1. Obviously, like, when the starting lineup was rolled out, I was extremely surprised that he still went with 3 guards. Because I didn't really know who was going to guard who. I knew Bam was going to be on Giannis, but I didn't really know who was going to guard Lopez, and it ended up being Strus, because when Strus was on Lopez, Strus just dared him to shoot, and he just gave him a lot of space. And putting Strus on Lopez kind of negated Lopez, because Lopez just took a lot of threes, and you didn't need to have Bam on Lopez for that, because you could have anybody contest those threes. Even though Strus is shorter, him being there still affected his shot. So I like the game plan. I like Jimmy on, I think Jimmy started on Drew Holiday and Gabe started on Middleton. But I would like to see Jimmy on Middleton. I would like to see Vincent on Holiday. And then obviously they had Tyler chasing around Grayson Allen. Now that would probably be Duncan. That would probably be, if Duncan was in the starting lineup, Duncan would probably be doing that. And the assignments around him will still be the same as it was before. If it's Caleb Martin, it changes a little bit, because offensively we get worse with Caleb because he's not the best, shooter compared to Duncan and Tyler. He's a very good slasher, but he's not a good off the ball shooter. But he's a lot better defensively. So you could have a lot more options there. You have Jimmy, Bam, and Caleb, who can all guard Giannis, Drew, and Chris Middleton. You have Bam on Giannis, you have Jimmy on Middleton, you have Caleb on Drew, or you have Jimmy on Drew, Caleb on Middleton. And then you have Gabe guarding the shooter, Grayson Allen, and you have Max still on Lopez. That's a possibility. Or you could go with Oladipo which I don't really see it as the likeliest of options because he's been out of the rotation the whole playoffs. I mean, like, and for like the past like 4 or 5 games, even before the playoffs, like he's been out of the rotation. I don't really see him playing. Starting. I think he might get some minutes off the bench. I don't see him starting though because he would be very rusty. I just don't really know. Like Duncan was out the rotation too, but Duncan is a shooter. Oladipo, in his prime, he was a lot more. He was not a shooter at all. He was not an off the ball player. He was on the ball, and I just don't know if the fit. I think that would be the most like weird fit out of all of them, having Oladipo, because Tyler is also an on the ball player, but Tyler's a lot better shot creation at this stage of his career than Oladipo is. Oladipo is kind of fallen off offensively, so Oladipo is a slasher at this point. He's not really a shooter, so that limits our shooting a lot. Allows the Bucks to help off another player, and makes Jimmy and Bam have to share the ball with somebody else. So I don't like Oladipo, but I know a lot of people want Oladipo to start. If he started, again, you would probably have Gabe on the shooter, probably have Oladipo guarding Holiday, probably have Jimmy on Middleton, Bam on Giannis, and Strus on Lopez again. So if Oladipo and Caleb are in the lineup, the defensive assignments would probably be the exact same. But if Duncan was in the lineup, it would be the same as it was in game 1. So yeah, I think, there's pros and cons to each, but I would, at the end of the day, pick between either Duncan or Caleb. I like Caleb a lot. I honestly like Caleb a lot in that starting lineup, but I think he might go with Duncan for the shooting. Now, I'm a little scared because I don't know if this team is going to shoot. I mean, we're definitely not going to shoot 60% from 3 again, but I don't even know if we're going to shoot 60% from the field. So I don't know if what we did in game 1 is sustainable, especially because the Bucks put up 117 points. I will say this though, although Giannis is an MVP player, the Bucks do get up a lot of threes without him. So I know they didn't shoot the best from 3, but they did get up a lot of threes without him. So I'm a lot more like, I don't know, like if Giannis was in the game, a lot of the attention would go to like stopping Giannis, and Giannis would have the ball in his hands. It would be a lot more simpler, the game plan, but with them playing for house money, everybody being a threat on the court to shoot, at least if Giannis is on the court, you can kind of sag off of him a little bit and dare him to shoot. If you replace Giannis, you probably replace him with Jay Crowder, Bobby Portis, Connaughton, Wesley Matthews. Like, all these guys can shoot. So I'm not saying the Bucks are better without him. Like, they're 11-8 without him, which is like pretty good, but obviously they're like, he's the best player in the world. So with him, they're extremely good. I'm just saying the game plan is a lot more straightforward with him on the court. I'm not saying it's easy to execute because, that's why they're the number 1 seed and not a lot of people can execute that game plan. But the game plan is a lot more simpler with him on the court to stop them. So I do think he's going to play game 2 because I don't think the Bucks can afford to go down 2 games in this series, because if they go down 2 games at home, they come to Miami, we're at least winning one of those games in Miami. I don't think we're going to lose both at home. And it's going to be a 3-1 series, and like that's virtually a done deal. So I don't think the Bucks can sit him. I think he's going to want to play. The Bucks are going to want him to play, and it's going to be a must-win for them, obviously, because they're at home. If they were in Miami, then I don't know if he would play. But if they were, because they're in Milwaukee and the Heat can potentially go up 2 games on the road, I think he's going to play because like they just cannot afford to sit him out. He didn't practice today, but apparently there's optimism that he'll play game 2. We'll see. But yeah, as far as the Heat is concerned, gonna need a lot more contributions from the same players. Shooting, I know we're not gonna shoot 60% from 3, but if we shoot 40% from 3, we still have a very good chance of winning. We shot 60%, but we didn't make too many threes. We only made 15. If we were to make like 25, and if we shot like a lower percentage, we could still be, well ahead in that game as well. Jimmy was phenomenal in game 1. I was very impressed with him. Obviously, playoff Jimmy, we all know. But he was like blowing by Jrue Holiday like Jrue Holiday was like nothing. So Jrue Holiday is one of the best defenders in the league, and Jimmy was toying with him. So like that's just how Jimmy is. Like he just goes crazy in the playoffs. We all expected that. Bam, I was very frustrated with him in the first half, but in the second half, he really started, taking over. Honestly, I just need Bam to shoot the ball, be aggressive. Without Tyler, he's going to get a lot more shots because obviously Tyler probably takes the most shots on the team, to be honest. So Bam, I think that, he just has to keep taking what he's given You know, Lopez kept giving him space. That's how he's going to guard him the whole series. That's how he's been guarding him for like 2 years now. Bam just has to keep taking that mid-range jump shot, keep making him pay, and we'll be good. Gabe Vincent has to knock down his threes. Same with Strus. Off the bench, we're going to need Caleb Martin. If he's, you know, whoever's off the bench between Martin and Duncan, we're going to need production from them. And then Lowry's going to have a big game, because with no hero, we're going to need Lowry to be an option for us for sure. Kevin Love, I don't know if he's going to have 18 points, but we just need him to do the same thing. You know, with the Bucks playing drop coverage, Kevin Love is going to be extremely big in the series, because, you know, a lot of their bigs like to sit in the paint, and he's one of the best shooting bigs of the past decade. So Kevin Love is going to be extremely big. Again, don't know if he's going to have 18 points again, but I still do expect a nice series from him. And then obviously, one of the guys that I do expect to maybe see minutes from is Haywood Highsmith, because I think Haywood Highsmith, especially if Giannis plays, defensively, Haywood Highsmith can be huge for us. And offensively, if he can knock down some threes, I really like that. Now, other keys to slowing down the Bucks, Middleton and Holiday. Middleton just seems to turn into like MJ in the playoffs. Like, he seems to go crazy every time he plays us. He makes a lot of tough shots, which is fine, but he is very inconsistent. Like, one game he'll be extremely good, the other game he'll be bad. He had 33 points in game 1. I don't know if he's going to have a really good game in game 2, but that does not mean we can sag off of him. They have a lot of shooters, man. Wesley Matthews, Grayson Allen, are two snipers for them. Jay Crowder can shoot. Obviously, Bobby Portis had a really good game. Lopez, Middleton. They have a bunch of shooters around Giannis, obviously, like Joe Ingles as well. Like, they have a lot of shooting. We just have to make sure we stick to the shooters, make sure that they don't get off. And if we limit their shooting, and if we continue to make our shots, we have a really good chance of winning this game and the series. So we're going to wrap it up here, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. Again, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know your score predictions down below for game 2, man. Heat fans, Bucks fans, it does not matter. We're all here as NBA fans anyway, just trying to enjoy a good series. So let me know your score predictions down below. Go check out my Twitter. I will be doing a space after the game. And yeah, I'll see you later as always, man. Have a nice day. Peace.